My name is Trujillo. I'm a 7th generation weaver from Chimayó, New Mexico. I work in the Rio Grande weaving tradition and have been weaving for over 50 years. I learned from my father, who was a master.
I'm Lisa Trujillo. In 1982, in the spring, I graduated from UNM. The next week, we were married. And then immediately after that, we started our business. So I tell people I was a professional weaver before I actually learned how to weave.
My name is Andrea Espinosa. I learned how to weave from my mom, and I also worked at another weaving shop in Chimayó, and it went from there. They actually came to me with the project and the idea, and it sounded really interesting, and I thought it would be something that I wanted to continue learning.
And learning the process and how it goes from the sheep to the loom, from shearing to cleaning, to carding and rolling it in these rolls, and from there, how it gets spun. I learned how Lisa spins her wool, which was a little bit tricky for me, but she didn't let me give up, and I got just a little bit better. I'm also learning what material is used to dye certain colors, why certain colors are woven together, and what little designs mean. Even stripes have a meaning, or they are called a certain name. It's really interesting.
The term Rio Grande encompasses the entire weaving tradition of Hispanic New Mexico. We use it to describe a striped blanket or frazada. These blankets were an important trade item for this region. The saltillo sarapes woven in Mexico first influenced the Rio Grande weavers in the early 1800s. The form of the saltillo can be described as having a border on the outside and a diamond in the center. The vallero blanket was the first style to incorporate synthetic dyes and factory-spun yarns from American mills. The 8-pointed vallero star starts showing up in the 1860s. The Chimayó blanket emerged in the late 1800s with the newly created tourist market in Santa Fe. By the 1920s, the design form included 2 stripes and the center design. One of the stories that my dad had was talking about selling 5 weavings to some tourists for like $50 each during the Depression, and this was a lot of money. And he got all excited because he was able to sell the weavings and it provided an income for the family. We weave one-of-a-kind pieces like the ones behind me, and we have a total of 9 weavers working in their homes. These are some of the natural dyes that I dye out in the dye shed. There's some indigo and some native plants like chamisa and cota. And to get the greens, I overdye the yellow yarns with indigo. I can get quite a few colors with the same dye stuff. These reds are with the insect cochineal, and then the oranges over here are madder root. We also have commercial wools that we buy in the natural colors, the natural white, natural grays. And then we have other colors that are commercially dyed like the reds and turquoise, things like that. This is the type of loom that we use. We stand while we weave. It is a design that was brought with the Spanish in the 1500s. We still use the same design today. Here's a modern piece that I have going. On the loom you can see this is a wider piece. This loom is around 5 feet wide. Here I am. I'm working on this piece. We use a technique that's called tapestry, and we make the designs as we go. This particular piece has an idea up here in a sketch. You can see some of the pieces I do have drawings that I kind of go by, and then some pieces are all impromptu. And then you can see here I pack each row, so the piece is made row by row. And tapestry, you have to break the weft thread into several colors, so the more colors that you see across the piece means the weaver had to move that many colors for that row.
wanted to learn because I have 3 kids, so I need to be able to contribute to like bills and, the household as well as take care of them.
That it's beautiful. I think that's the main thing. It's an expression of the culture. It's an expression of the place. It draws from the earth in ways that nothing else that I've done, especially because I'm spinning the yarn. I think that's true. And I'm spinning the yarn, the wool that my sister-in-law has raised there on our ranch. It just feels very connected to something that is real, and that isn't something that we get from, everything else in life.